What's up guys, मैं हूं सिद्धांत, आप देख रहे हैं ट्रेडिंग with सिद्धांत and this is Saketh from Optionables. No, QF. Yeah?
I think Optionables is
That was the part of the video, bro. And we also have Vandana from Psychoflakes, who is also a trading psychologist. उसी टॉपिक पे हम आज वीडियो बनाने वाले हैं कि ट्रेडिंग में आपको चार्ट पढ़ना, नंबर्स, थीटा डी के, ये सब सबको पता है. एवरीबडी टॉक्स अबाउट दैट, बट द साइकोलॉजी एस्पेक्ट इस पे सब लोग मिस आउट कर देते हैं. लेट्स गेट इनटू दैट विद अ प्रोफेशनल साइकोलॉजिस्ट एंड विद समबडी हु हैज क्लोज टू अ डेकेड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. इनके पिताजी ऑलरेडी सीएनबीसी पे भी आ चुके हैं. सो नो, you can't talk about all that.
No, he hasn't come on CNBC.
Acha, then?
While he was watching CNBC.
Hey, bored, bro. You create so much thing in my mind. We need to learn कौन सी गलतियां होती है या फिर what things trigger your mind to make poor decisions. And I think Vandana would be the right person to say that. क्या चीज है जो ट्रिगर करता है किसी के दिमाग को to make bad decisions again and again in a loop?
See, one thing could be fear. Another thing could be anxiousness. Because when you're anxious, you're either thinking about the past. Yeah, we're thinking about the future. Right? So when we are in that state of mind, we tend to get triggered to take certain decisions which might not be probably in your favor, especially during trading.
Yeah.
Because अगर आप एक बार loss experience किए हो, तो फिर आपको जब भी कोई trade up कर रहे होंगे, you might feel like, okay, what if I do that loss again? Because of which you might probably read every single thing when you're trading, and that ends up making you take wrong decisions.
तो मान लो एक ट्रेडर के पास 1 लाख रुपए है और लेट्स गो इवन स्मॉलर बिकॉज ऑप्शन बाइंग के दुनिया में लॉट ऑफ पीपल थिंक कि चलो 10,000 लेके आ जाएंगे, बहुत सारा कमा लेंगे. वो दिमाग के पीछे क्या होता है इंसान के? जब 10,000 से चलो बिगनर्स लक वर्क्स, ही मेक्स 12,000 मे बी, 10 से 12 हो गया, 30 हो गया, चलो लेट्स गिव हिम अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. नाउ ही स्टार्ट्स मेकिंग लॉसेस. एक दिन लॉस कर लिया, अब दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है?
Greed, one, because आपने कमा लिया पैसा, तो you want more, right? So that is one thing. Another thing is, okay, now you lost. So you're more hooked into this because you won something, right? So now what you're going to do is you might want to get more money. You might borrow money from others, or you might invest more into the market. Why? Because once you've tasted success, so you feel that, acha, chalo, let's try again and again. So this sometimes, again, makes you take wrong decisions, makes you sometimes exaggerate things which are not really there. And that's also another trigger.
लेकिन इन ट्रिगर्स में से लेट्स से ऑप्शन बाइंग है, चलो ही हैज ओनली 10,000. क्या कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन लेना चाहिए इसको?
So I will speak little in English because my Hindi is not so good. So in my opinion, to be honest, a person coming with 10,000 in 2023 maybe shouldn't even come to options. So why exactly I'm telling this is because even I started with let's say 25,000, right? So in 2017, even I started selling options with 25,000 because we had 30x leverage.
Good old days.
Good old days. Yeah, good old days. So since there was 30x leverage, so even though I had 25,000, the capital was as good as 7.5 lakh. So it was not just 25,000. So today with 10,000, your options are restricted. So you only have an option to buy options, right? So there is nothing, you can't do anything with futures. You can hardly do something with option selling. So no matter you hedge it, you don't hedge it, there is no sufficient margin to enter any kind of sell position. So the only option you have is either to go with equities, or if you're coming to options, you can only do buying. So especially when you're doing buying also, what tends to happen is if you are coming with a smaller capital, your expectation is also higher. So you are not coming with 10,000 rupees to make 100 rupees. You are not coming with 10,000 rupees to make 500 rupees. So if I am putting 10,000 rupees, I am expecting, I would at least want 2,000 rupees profit daily, right? So this is the same expectation even a 50 lakh guy has, thinking that, okay, if I am coming with 50 lakh in let's say I'm coming with a 50 lakh capital. Right? I want to make 50,000 a month. He also wants to make 50,000 a month with 50 lakh capital. You want to make 50,000 a month with 10,000 capital. So now who is going to succeed most likely? It would be the person with the higher money because his expectation is lower. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
not the same.
तो पूरा खेल तो है expectations का. And again, expectations are what? It's the base of your psychology. It's the very foundation कि आप क्या expect करके market में आ रहे हो. Now, एक तो आई एम प्रिटी श्योर कि आपने इंटरनेट पे देख लिया है, ये देखो 10 का 100 भिंडी मार्केट जैसा, उसको कैसे ठीक किया जाए? मैं आपसे क्यों पूछ रहा हूँ, आप बताइए.
Okay, so when it comes to expectations, you can be very realistic about the same. So if you have 10,000 rupees, okay, think how much of effort you're going to put for this 10,000 rupees. And if, say you want 1%. So 1% of 10,000 is 100, right? So you might get 100 rupees because whenever you trade, it is about this, especially in option trading, it's zero sum game, right? So one of them wins and the other person loses. So get ready to decide how much you're ready to lose rather than always thinking about how much you're going to make. Because when you set that particular state of mind, it becomes much more simpler for you to take decisions, right? Only one side becomes a little skewed, right? So we need to be a little bit balanced. So if you're thinking about profits, think about how much you're ready to lose as well.
We got to dump it down even more because ये जो audience आ रही है, one major problem, in fact, it's an opportunity for content creators out there in trading. We have only tier 2 audiences trading, only tier 2, tier 3, hardly any tier 1. So we really have to go to the depths और समझना पड़ेगा कि भाई ये क्यों आ रहा है, ये कहाँ से आ रही है? Is this jealousy we are after? Are we after other people's money कि वो ज्यादा कमा रहा है, मैं भी कमाऊंगा, मैं गाड़ी लूंगा? Is that my mindset? Or is this a process that I'm enjoying? ये answer I think Saketh will be able to give better because that is why he's in the market. He's not here because he wants to make money per se. Why are you here in the market?
One thing which has really driven me is passion. If a person is coming with 10,000, right? His expectation ideally shouldn't be to earn more than 2,000 or 3,000 a year. Right, year I'm talking about. So that is 20 to 30%, which is already above average. And now if you're coming with 10,000 and you earn 2,000, the entire 2,000 is wiped off with charges and brokerage, right? So nothing is really left. So now if you have a job which is paying you 5 lakh and let's say you want to quit your job to trade with say 5 lakh capital or 10, leave 5. So assume you have 20 lakh capital on which you make 20%, which is 4 lakh, right? If a job is paying you 40,000 a month fixed, right? So, and now you want to decide to move into trading just because you are seeing somebody else make money. You feel you will have the freedom. There is no boss. So I can do it the way I want. So there's nobody who's going to stop me and I'm going to make what the salary is going to pay me. So this is absolutely false. Why? Because in salary, if there are 1,000, say 3 lakh employees under Infosys or TCS, entire 3 lakh people are assured to be paid their salaries end of the month, right? So if you come to markets, more than 90% of them are actually showing you the wrong picture where they say, okay, I actually came with say, so much capital, I doubled my capital. But in reality, we know for a fact that 90% of the people lose money. So there were close to around 47 lakh people who traded last year, out of which hardly close to around 4 to 5 lakh people were able to make money. Remaining 43 lakh people ended up losing money. So this is not just one thing with F&O. The second thing is out of this 47 lakh people, hardly 40,000 people, that is 1%, were able to beat the returns of FD, which is 7%. So the reality is quite dark and definitely, so if your expectation is higher, if you want to substitute trading with your job, if you want to, so all this just because you don't have passion, rather you want to do it for more money. So this is not the place. So when we started Optionables, right, we had a capital of 27 lakh and I had got a job offer which was paying me close to around 11 lakh, right? So now it would have been much more sensible decision to go for the job because 50% a year is something not what you would get. But at that time, I was more passionate to do something on my own. I was like, okay, let me try it for a year. If it doesn't work, I'm going to go back to the job. Yeah. But before that, I already had 3 years of consistent profitable track record. It was not that I just had capital and I was starting out new, right? So I had 3 years consistent profitable track record, which actually motivated me. Okay, let me try it on my own this time and come back.
With that thought, I just come back to one thing. एक ही चीज आ रही है, तो लोगों को ट्रेडिंग करनी भी चाहिए कि नहीं? और अगर उसका जवाब हाँ है, तो कैसे शुरुआत करें अपने दिमाग को सही करने का? और अगर उसका जवाब ना है, then what else? Because freedom तो सबको चाहिए. Everybody wants financial freedom, time freedom भी चाहिए. बॉस की गालियां किसी को नहीं खानी है. That's life. That's true. People come because यहाँ पे वो सब मिलता है, सब चीज का promise जरूर दिया जाता है. It's like the Jannat that was promised. But what is the reality?
Well, we did actually these trading psychology sessions, and I met close to 200 to 250 traders. And in that, almost 80% of them were not making money. And 20% of them were, and there were some things that you can take away. So one is, as how Saketh rightly mentioned, you need to have that consistency. So he had consistency of 3 years. So that is a good amount of consistency. I would say more, but that's a good amount to start with. So have consistent returns. Next is discipline. So discipline in the sense, whether when you have decided that this is the strategy that I want to try out today, or this is what I want to do. So stick to that. Don't get influenced by what people are saying on Twitter or on YouTube or anything else. So if you are trying a strategy, stick to that particular thing.
Strategy comes much later. What comes before?
So before
Mentally.
that is, like I said, decide what is it that you want, like in terms of profitability, in terms of loss as well. Many people don't look at the loss part. Everybody says, I don't want to lose any money. But when you come to stock market, the first thing is that you need to prepare that aap lose karoge. It's not that you always make money. So that is one thing. And another thing is you come and trade with a fresh mindset every day. Sometimes we take forward the losses, right? Like yesterday I made a loss, so today I'm supposed to make profit. So that revenge trading will only affect you more rather than helping you or motivating you to trade better.
So I would also want to add on to that. So the thing is, based on so many years of trading, what I have actually learned mostly is the day where I lose the most, right? So let's say, luckily from 2020, we have fixed our entire risk management, this thing. So now we don't lose more than 1% a day, no matter what. So in the worst case, again, what she was talking about discipline makes a lot of sense, because if you are not disciplined enough to cut your trade at 1%. So now I have decided, okay, I want to end everything at 1%. But tomorrow the market starts to fall. So instead of, let's say, let me round it off 1% to 10,000 rupees, just for simplicity. So now I go to 15,000, right? In a trader's this thing. So if you aren't disciplined enough to cut it at 10,000, you are not going to cut it at 15,000. Yeah. What will you do? You'll be like, I thought 10,000, but it's 15,000 now. Let me give it some time. You start to have a false hope that markets can come in your favor, right? So now this 15,000 is going to become 20,000. Now you're like, okay, at least let me get back my 15,000, right? So this somehow God will be like, okay, this time I will make your wish true. You come back to 10,000, right? So negative 10,000. You're like, I have come from negative 20 to negative 10. What if I go to zero? Why should I book it?
Yeah, God is with me today.
Yeah, God is with me today. He has got me from negative 20 to 10. So generally, if you don't book at 10,000, you are not going to book at 15. You are not going to book at 20. And again, if you're given 10, again, you're not going to book, because in your mind, from so much of a loss, you have come to this loss. So you can handle it much better. Yeah. So you're only going to book at 30,000 or 40,000. You're not going to cut at 10,000. That night, you will not be able to sleep. You'll be like, oh, what did I do? I lost so much in a single day. Next day, you're scared to take. You're not confident enough to take. What if I lose one more day? So like how she mentioned in the beginning, right? So if you let your losses go big, right? So what if I lose one more day, right? So these things, this I wanted to add with when she said, do you want to come with a fresh mind every day? So this can only happen when the money you lose or make is not significant for you, right? So, yeah, I shouldn't be in a business where every day I'm taken through an emotional ride. So up, down, up, down. One day I make double my money. Second day I lose 80%. So if I am taken through an emotional ride, my psychology will never be in the right place. Yeah. So what should I do? So trust me, today, in my personal account, I trade with more than 2 CR, and overall for some corporates, we do handle over 50 CR, right? With over 2 CR, I don't intend to make more than 10 to 15,000 a day. So if I make or lose, it doesn't matter to me, right? So I am not totally unaffected by the P&L.
ऑप्शन बायर्स हेलो 2 CR 15,000 रुपीज तुमको क्या चाहिए 10,000 में 50 लाख हो जाएगा.
So when I try to keep this consistent, 20,000 rupees, if I try to make on an average for 20 days, I am making 4 lakh, which is 2% on my capital. This is what I'm looking at. So I am okay to lose 15,000. It is not going to affect me in any way, right? So this way, try to stay as disconnected from the market as possible. And the only way to do it, to make sure that your M2M is not making you or taking you through an emotional roller coaster, up, down.
पूरे पॉडकास्ट या जो भी है ये, उसको अगर हम सम अप करना चाहे तो आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट दैट डोंट कम विद मनी दैट यू कांट अफोर्ड टू लूज. ये जगह सपने पूरे करने के लिए तो है, बट आपके काइंड ऑफ सपने ऑलरेडी थोड़े बहुत पूरे हो जाने चाहिए उसके पहले. बिकॉज इफ यू कमिंग हियर विथ मनी यू कांट अफोर्ड टू लूज, पापा से उठाया लोन का पैसा लेके कोई आया कभी आपके पास? उसकी दिमागी संतुलन के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहोगे आप?
They're very, very scared. पहले तो, and then they want to be part of this thing because they feel only from trading they can get back the money, right? So yeah, that's what they feel, because their regular job might not pay them, and sometimes their borrowing is so high. You would be surprised, it will be like 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs.
उसको क्या करना चाहिए?
So at that point of time, one thing you can do is not do the trading aspect of it. I would not recommend also this to take loan and trade, but at that point of time, you need to maybe, sell a plot and pay off those people if they have a plot. Because, trading is just that it's going to take you further, deeper down.
Yeah.
Right? And if you say that I do not have a plot, then it's a very long struggle for you, but please do a job and try to recover it slowly.
Not from trading.
But not from trading.
So one more thing to add on to her, what happens is, let's say this person who has lost 50 lakh, no? So he is not going to come back with 50 lakh because he wouldn't have lost 50 lakh in one go, right? He would have lost 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh, 5 lakh, right? So now he wants to recover all this 60, 70 lakh with 3 lakh capital.
Yeah.
So here he wants to make 60x, 30x, which is not going to happen, right? So like how she mentioned, the first thing what you should do is, when you have a loan, is to try to get rid of the commitment, right? So imagine if you have 50 lakh of loan, imagine the kind of interest burden you have, right?
Exactly.
So I have personally seen people with so much of debt where they have an interest burden of over 50-60,000 a month, but they have capital of 2 lakh. How is it possible to generate? First thing is to get off that burden by, so if your job is not able to pay you so much, you have to somehow try to get off your burden, because if you get into this debt cycle, you are never going to be out.
So don't get trapped into the debt cycle. Don't come here with false dreams. And yeah, do it if it's your passion. If you had to give an advice to any new budding trader in 50 words, what would your advice be?
I would want to give it in 2 aspects. So the first aspect is with your trading. So always make sure, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to be right, you're going to be wrong. Whether if you expect market to go up, you might be right or wrong. So only way to win the market is make sure that you analyze what is your average profit on a day. When you're making profit, on an average, how much you make. Keep your losses smaller than your profits. So that is the only hack to win the markets. So, and the second one is, if you are actually wanting to shift to full-time trading or something, so I would suggest you to try your hands with very low capital. Don't come into trading because you did paper trading. In paper trading, you made 2 lakh, 3 lakh. So paper trading is not the real trading, right? So it's like I give you a book to read about swimming and push you into the pool, you are going to drown. So make sure that you are already traded and you have a good track record before you come into the markets and put full capital.
Great advice. And आप psychologically उसके दिल को कैसे संभालना है, उसको न्यू ट्रेडर को, दिल और दिमाग को?
Okay. So one thing is be realistic about your expectations. And the second...
Realistic matlab what he said.
Yeah, be realistic. Start small. And the second thing is to, be in the present rather than focusing on the past or the future. So be in the present. So how you can be in the present is by, using your sense organs. Because, for example, when you meditate, you're using all of your sense organs. So whenever you feel that you're going to take some risky bet, then try to do grounding. So it's a very simple technique. It's more than 50 words. I'm sorry. This particular So it's just that, tap your feet. Or, if you have a room freshener in your room, just, go and smell that particular thing, because all these things will get you to the present. And when you're at present, you take better decisions and you know what you have to do. Because if you're in the past and the future, you're just going to be in a loop that will just make you take wrong decisions. So use your sense organs, like maybe talk to yourself, like what color am I wearing, or touch different objects as it's of different temperature. So all these things will get you to the present. And at present, you know what to do, whether to be in this trade or not to be in this trade.
खाना खा सकते हैं?
हाँ.
That's the best use of your sense organ. कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, कुछ स्मेल गंदी आ रही है, टच करने में फील नहीं आ रहा, खाना खा लो, खत्म.
Take a bath.
That is too much.
हाँ भाई, नहा लो भाई प्लीज यार, गंदे संदे बैठते हो सुबह सुबह ट्रेडिंग करने के लिए. चलो एनीवे, होपफुली अभी आप अच्छे से बैठे होगे और पॉडकास्ट पसंद आया तो डोंट फॉरगेट टू लाइक बाद में कर दो. गो एंड फॉलो मिस्टर साकेत, मैन, ही इज किलिंग इट इन द गेम. अगर आपको जेन्युइनली you want to learn technicals of the market better, not just the chart, then this is the guy to go to. और अगर आपको psychology सीखनी है, so please visit Vandana's company in Bangalore.
Psychoflakes. I have it on Instagram, but now we are getting into YouTube.
You make content on that?
Yeah.
So follow Psychoflakes, follow OF.
Saketh. Saketh. My
The new company.
New channel, Saketh.
वो तो I know, but there's some other company you said. QF. I was thinking OF. No, not OF, guys. Saketh does not have an OF. Only optionables, QF. He's a nice, simple trader. Go do that. Then if you like the podcast, drop your comments, drop your questions. And thank you so much for joining in. Hope you guys had fun.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you.